Life ain't really about what's happening around you. It's about what's happening inside you. I've met rich people who were miserable, poor people who were grateful, strong people who broke down. And the calmest, most grounded people I've ever met in my life have been practicing Muslims. And for the longest time, I used to wonder, how do they do that? How do they keep their chest steady when the world is shaking? How do they smile when life is throwing fire? And then I learned something powerful. Muslims have this deep belief called Tawakkul. And let me tell you, that word right there, it'll change your whole spirit if you really understand it. Tawakkul means you give everything your best. You show up with effort, with courage, with work, with discipline. And then you trust God with the outcome. You don't try to control every little thing. You don't try to predict everything. You don't carry the whole world on your shoulders. You trust the one who created you. See, in today's world, most people wake up already scared of tomorrow. We wake up checking our phones like our lives depend on it. We panic about the bills, the future, the job, the what ifs. We scare ourselves before life even gets a chance to challenge us. But Muslims, man, they wake up with this calm acceptance. They say, I will do my part and God will do his part. And that mindset is powerful because it breaks fear before fear even gets to grow. I was talking to a Muslim brother once and I asked him, how do you stay so relaxed about your future? And he said, Steve, listen to me. If God gives it to me, no one can stop it. And if God doesn't give it to me, no one can bring it. And I just stared at him thinking, man, I wish I knew that at 21, that kind of trust would have saved me from a whole lot of stress. See, Muslims don't believe life is chaos. They believe everything is written with purpose. They believe the delay you face today is saving you from something tomorrow. The blessing you didn't get is protecting you from a storm you can't see. The heartbreak that crushed you was clearing a path for something better. When you truly believe that, fear becomes small. Fear becomes a whisper instead of a scream. Another thing I noticed is how Muslims pray. They pray 5 times a day, and I used to wonder, why so many times? Then I saw it with my own eyes. They're not praying because they're bored or obligated. They're praying because that's their anchor. That's their grounding point. It's them pausing in the middle of chaos and saying, let me refill my soul. Let me regain my strength. Let me remember who's really in control. Can you imagine if all of us paused 5 times a day just to breathe, just to reflect, just to talk to God? Half our stress would disappear. Half our anxiety would fade. Your mind would reset. Your heart would calm down. That's why they walk with peace. That's why they carry themselves like they know something you don't know. Because they do. They know God is still writing their story. And let me tell you something else. Muslims believe deeply in patience. And not just patience like waiting in a line. Patience like trusting that something good is growing even if you can't see it. Patience like believing that every hardship comes with 2 gifts. Patience like knowing your tears are never wasted. When life knocks them down, they don't say, why me? They say, test me so I can grow. That's a different level of inner strength right there. I've seen Muslims lose everything and still say, Alhamdulillah, meaning all praise belongs to God. I've seen Muslims cry in prayer, not because life is easy, but because they know they're not alone in their pain. And when you live like that, when your heart is tied to something eternal, fear can't control you. Fear can't dominate you. Fear has no authority over you. And that's why Muslims don't fear the future. To them, the future isn't an enemy. It's a chapter God already wrote with wisdom. They believe the one who carried them yesterday will carry them tomorrow. They believe that even if life takes them to the edge of the cliff, God will either give them wings or build them a bridge. That's faith. That's trust. That's confidence the world can't shake. See, fear comes from trying to control everything. Peace comes from trusting the one who controls everything. The moment you stop trying to play God in your own life, the moment you let go of the outcome, life becomes lighter. The world becomes quieter. Your heart beats steadier. And I'm telling you, man, this world needs more of that. We need less panic and more prayer, less fear and more faith, less control and more surrender to something bigger than yourself. Muslims just mastered that early. They learned how to lean on God instead of leaning on their worries. And that's why they walk with their head high. That's why they don't tremble at tomorrow. So if you're listening to this, hear me. Do your best. Work honest. Stay grateful. Be kind. And then trust God with the part you can't control. The future isn't supposed to scare you, it's supposed to shape you. And when you trust the one who holds your future, trust me, you'll walk with the same strength and peace that Muslims carry every single day. Because when God is with you, fear is just noise. And your future becomes something to walk toward, not something to run away from.